Hi, everyone. So I'm going to sort of recap slash look at what we've been looking at so far real quick, just because there's a couple of points that I want to clarify. And then the next video, we're going to talk about how to actually shift our awareness to the level of consciousness from which we can create the best versions of our lives. But first, I want to make sure that we really understand what we're talking about here. This is what I call, so the yellow light now represents spirit, source, God, higher, highest consciousness, right? And it exists everywhere. Crap, right. Okay. It exists in this physical world, and you are something that's a little sort of weird to conceive of. You are awareness. So, we'll just make that into a little eyeball here. You are the awareness of your existence. I am. That's what you are. And we know that you come into this physical world and that you get a body, you get a mind, you get an intellect, and you develop a certain sense of identity, right? Your identity is what your awareness starts to look at. Before you came into this world, you were aware that you were spirit. Now you're aware of this border, the way in which you're separated from everything else, and this becomes your I am. So instead of saying I am divine, I am source, you now say I am. And you say the body and the five senses, right? The body is, I am male, I am old, I am sickly, I am energized, I'm in pain. The body, right? That is what you are aware of. The five senses is what you see. The five senses is sort of like the world. It is raining, it is hot, it is cruel. Whatever you see and perceive, your awareness becomes aware of that. You also become aware of, um, what you learn, and you learn limitations, you learn rules, laws, what works, what doesn't work, what's allowed, what's not allowed, the laws of life and physics and governance and all that stuff. These are the things that you learn. You also learn, you also have a sense of identity. So this box is who you have become. Your I am has shrunk from I am all of consciousness to I am this box. And this box is also defined by your trauma. So your trauma results in, I don't think I can write sideways, emotional pain patterns, which is what we are also referring to as incompletions, um, I should have thought this out, incompletions or pain bodies. There's lots of words for it. So you become aware, you become limited by, bounded by, and identified with, what has happened to me. I am afraid, I am wounded, I am hurt, I am betrayed, I am lonely, I am grieving, right? I'm not saying that any of this is wrong. I'm just trying to explain to you how fundamental this I am awareness, consciousness, who am I concept is to the co-creation process. So I'm going through this a bit quickly because it does summarize what we did in a couple of other diagrams. Let's see. So there's the five senses, which is the world. There's the body, which is where you think you're limited to. And there's the emotional nature of yourself. And then there is, the rules and regulations of the world. And then you see yourself here in relation to everything else, right? In relation to other people, in relation to the world, the elements, the governance, everything. I am strong, I am weak, I am rich, I am poor, I am alone, I am part of a big family, I am controlled, I am free. All of those senses are things that the I am awareness develops and latches onto in the course of living. And these things are what influence what you ask for, what you create, what you allow, what you believe in, what you accept in your life. So remember, this is a course on co-creation. And you have been creating so far. Either you have been manifesting things, asking for things, or you have been allowing things, or you have been accepting things, or you've been holding on to something and saying, this is me, it cannot be changed. But that is how you have been creating your world, is because the I am has been creating based on these things. The co creation part is where you allow yourself to remember this part, right? This part, let me just see. I didn't do the best job of aligning this. Okay, let's go over here. So, this is the divinity we say within, right? We think that if you go inside, it's inside of you, but it's actually the divinity all around, inside, around. It's your center and your circumference. This divinity is believes in possibilities. That's my favorite way of thinking of it. It understands full potential. It has no boundaries, no limitations. It allows, it gives permission. There's no, you don't deserve this. This isn't good enough for you. That's not for your people. That's not in your family. You're too broken for that. None of that exists here within the realm of possibility. It also creates, it is also this state of awareness. When the awareness moves from these things here, it moves to, I have everything. So there's abundance. I am fully content. I don't really need anything. I'm peaceful and I am happy. And I am not in opposition to anything or anyone. There is no conflict. So, no conflict, you could say peace, or let's just say love. So, peace, joy, happiness, abundance, and the possibility of everything is what you could perceive here versus what you perceive here. So, the journey is a journey from this boundary here to this, right? You're actually looking for change. So, really, if you want to think of it as prayer, your prayer is a prayer of change me, change this, right? And we will slowly learn how to do this. Um, we've done a lot on incompletions. There's a video 2 weeks ago, where the whole thing is written in green marker. That explains the process of completing incompletions. I have on my guided meditation playlist, I have meditations on how to transmute the pain bodies. There are several chapters in the book that talk about how to release these emotional pain patterns that are primarily dominating what we think. Because honestly, these pain patterns inform how we feel in the body. They taint what we see in the world, how we interpret the world. The pain identifies us as, I am hopeless, I am powerless, I can't change anything, I am controlled. The government, the corporations, the economy, they have limited me, and they influence what we believe is possible. So ultimately, all of these boundaries come down to the traumas. That's it, essentially. So the journey is a journey of transmuting these, surrendering these to the to higher power, um, and dissolving all of this. So through, let's say it in a simple one sentence way, through meditation, we release this, which frees this and releases all of the boundaries. So you end up with, excuse me one second. Right? So the journey of self-awareness, self-mastery, and I suppose you could say also self-inquiry, is one where you remove everything that you thought you were, everything that you thought you were bounded by. So it is a journey of changing yourself. The highest prayer you can really say is change me. And this divinity, this spirit in and through you, that is watching over you, that considers you to be most precious and is willing ever willing to help you is the one that will guide you through the process of erasing all of this crap and allowing you to experience this here. When these boundaries are gone, you see this. That's what you see. And from here, you create this consciousness. It's a, I hope you can see that. Consciousness is the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of God, right? Which we have touched on in okay, right, in a previous video. And what you do, so co-creation now is where you ask this higher divinity to dissolve the old you and to make you detect the true inner you. So the journey of co-creation is to first seek first this here, the kingdom of heaven. Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven. So that when you are aware of these possibilities become what you create in the world. So let's call this, let's say this area here is the physical world, right? What you create in the world, you say, let me find inspiration on what to create based on this knowledge, based on this consciousness, based on this sense of self. I am everything, I have everything, I love everyone, I'm happy, I'm content. What can I create from there? What beauty and abundance and joy and blessing can I bring to the world? So now you're asking this level of consciousness, this God level of consciousness. You're saying, your will be done here on this earth as it already is here in heaven. That's the process of co-creation. We're going to learn moving forward in the next few videos, including the video that I'll send in this post today. We're going to learn first, how do you dissolve this false identity through healing of the consciousness, through freeing of the awareness so that the awareness can perceive this that already exists and doesn't need to be attained, but is already there. And we're going to learn that the most important thing is to remember who you really are. Someone once said, you don't know anything unless you know who you are, how you are, what you are, which is this here. It's the journey here. This journey is the most important thing that you can do. And the beautiful thing about it is that when you figure out who you are, it doesn't matter who you used to be. It doesn't matter. Even if you used to be an alcoholic, even if you were a terrible parent, even if you made terrible financial decisions, even if you self-sabotaged your body to the point where it was sickly and could barely survive, none of that matters when you remember this, because this is who you actually are. There is a complete and utter removal of the former identity when the true inner identity is discovered. It's not like, oh, I've discovered that I'm beautiful, but I also suck. Like, it doesn't, the two don't coexist. One completely removes the other. Sort of like if you were an actor in a play on stage and you were playing a villain, a murderer. When you remember that you're an actor, you don't go, I'm an actor with a diverse range of skills and quite a great portfolio, and I've won many awards. I'm a great actor, and I'm also a murderer. No, you don't. The two identities don't coexist. You remember your nature, your true nature, and you realize all of this was just something that you were going through for a while, and that it was actually truly ultimately an illusion. It was a temporary existence and a complete misunderstanding of your nature. So when you realize who you are, it doesn't matter who you used to think you were. It will completely override. So if you thought you were, well, I was poor and I was born in generational poverty and my folks have always been poor and we have no assets and no wealth and we have no ability to build anything. When you realize who you are, none of that applies anymore. Same thing with health, same thing with social status, same thing with, am I a responsible person? Am I a good person? Am I a disciplined person? All that stuff changes when you surrender to this consciousness. So I won't go much further, but I will have a video on, because I've had a few questions on exactly how do we, was it's I'll do many videos on it, but today I'll talk about how do we experience, glimpse, remember this level of consciousness? How do we begin to shift the awareness from here to here? So that's going to be the next video. And again, I look forward to questions. Please let me know what you're understanding and what is clicking for you, and we will just continue this journey together. Um, I love being with you guys here and seeing what it's like for more and more of us to remember to go to this kingdom of heaven, to find its nature and to bring it to this world. Together, this is how we co create a new world. So, thank you very, very much for being on this journey with me, and I will see you soon. Bye.